We're here today to talk to you about guided reading. In a guided reading lesson, a teacher will work with a group of around about 6 children, all of whom are reading at a similar reading attainment. A guided reading lesson follows a set framework.
We've put together some video footage to share that framework with you. So watch along and enjoy the guided reading lessons. A strategy check is a really important part of a guided reading lesson. It's the way the teacher brings to the forefront of the children's mind all the things that they can try if they're not sure about a letter or a word or a phrase in their reading. We're going to watch a teacher doing a strategy check with hide and seek. Listen as she helps the children think about what they can try if they get stuck or if they're unsure.
If you get stuck on a word, what could you do to help you carry on reading? Eliza?
You could sound the word out.
Good, so you can sound the word out. You can use your phonics. Sophia?
You could tell the teacher.
So you could ask for some help if you think I'm not sure on this word and we can work it out together. You can read through the sentence again, checking that it makes sense. Because sometimes when you read a sentence, so if I was reading this one, I would say, Zara liked feeding the baby. And then if I got to this word, I think, I could sound it out and then I could check it makes sense. Zara liked feeding the baby chicks. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Zara liked feeding the baby chicks.
The strategy check is about enabling children to recognise what they can do to help themselves when they're stuck on a word. As books become more complex, such as this non-fiction book here, children will need a range of strategies, and it's the teacher's responsibility here to prompt for those and ensure children know what to do. For example, there are lots of technical vocabulary words in this book about earthquakes. You'll actually see a child rehearsing how to break the word into 2 separate parts, putting back together once she's problem solved each word. That's a really helpful strategy to use on a non-fiction text. Let's watch the children as they read earthquakes.
In order to make sure that you can read it really, really well, let's just go through our strategies for helping us to read. So what do we do if we find words tricky? What is one of the strategies we can use? Who's got a good strategy? Because we all find words tricky. Even adults who've been reading for a long while come across new words, but there's things we do to help us read. What's the first one, Bianca?
Use your phonic logic and spell them.
Brilliant, yeah. So we can use our phonic, you said the word logic, and that means just knowledge, doesn't it? Our phonic knowledge to help us spell. So we've all been doing phonics at school. So if there is a word that's tricky, we can use all the different sounds we already know to help us decode a new word. So that's an excellent strategy. That's probably the first one to try. But then, of course, not all words are spelt phonetically, so some of them can be a bit tricky. Madeline, what else can we do?
You can split a word in 2, or you can split a word. So let's say earthquakes. I want to know how to read earthquakes, and earthquakes a new word. I can split it in half and I can go quakes.
Wonderful, yeah, so we've got 2 words that make up the new word, and by getting rid of one for a little while, it helps us to read the first one and then read the second one and then put them back together. That's a very good strategy. Well done, Madeline. Evelyn, what else can we do?
Use your syllables, like you clap the first. If you don't know it, you like take 3 letters,
Yep.
and then read that, and then read the other 3 letters, and then until you finish the word.
Okay, so you break it up into the syllables and then you can put them back together again. So even if they're not phonetic words, you can use that to help you as well. That's fantastic. Well done.